Today we are visiting Feurt Cemetery in Clay Township, Scioto County, Ohio. And we're just off of US 23. It's also known as Old 5 Mile Church Cemetery. And it was located what was described as just back of Old 5 Mile Church. So Old 5 Mile Church was exactly 5 miles from what would have been downtown Portsmouth, Ohio at the time. In the background, we see the Scioto River bottoms and the hills just on the other side of the Scioto River. We're in a slight knoll above the Scioto River floodplain. Now, the forts, at least on this side of the county, they would spell their name F-E-U-R-T. There's also a Feurt Cemetery that's in Feurt Township on the other end of the county. And directly behind us, across US 23, is what was called Fort Hill. And Fort Hill can take us all the way across from US 23 to State Route 139 and put us in the Sciotaville area pretty quickly. So just a reference point for this cemetery. It's hard to access because you have to cross railroad property and railroad tracks to get here. There's no parking. But at one time, this would have sat right behind a Methodist church. We had heard from someone local that due to construction, a lot of these headstones, these older tablet markers, had been broken. You know how rumors go. Sometimes you'll hear that they got ran over, thrown over a hillside. A lot of times, most of the damage just comes from where they're located. These great big old trees, limbs get heavy, the trees die, they fall, and they break the headstones that are underneath of them. We have an interesting mix. We have the old silt stones. We can see that's Bartholomew, son of Gabriel and Lydia Feurt, who died January 2nd, and that very clearly says 1815, age 2 months. So it's a very early stone for this area. And then next to it we have what appears to be a marble marker. And then here we have another part of the marble marker, which I believe says Gabriel. Similar style stone, the bevel work on the edge. So it's probably two parts of the same marker. But this whole knoll is occupied by what appears to be the Feurt family. Here we have another, looks like Gabriel. And here we have Thomas. In memory of Thomas J., son of Gabriel and Lydia Feurt. We have footstones. Now, we visited this cemetery back in 2018. We'll have to compare our photos as far as the condition. It does look like it's been cleaned out some as far as the underbrush. In memory of William M. Feurt, who died December 3rd, 1841, aged 19 years, 1 month, and 20 days. And then it looks like we have Serene, also daughter of Gabriel and Lydia Feurt. That's 1832. And then these beautiful, looks like limestone. And this is in memory of Mary D. consort of Malin Brown, who departed this life December 9th, 1838, aged 18 years, 8 months, and 16 days. And here we have an unfinished column. And this is an immense stone. If you imagine, these aren't set with bases. Typically, a third of these earlier monuments are set directly in the ground, and a third of them is below the soil level to help keep them upright. So this is every bit of 4 feet in height. So imagine another third of that below. And it's probably 6 inches thick. And we can see the stonecutters marks. And here we go in profile. We can see how deep that inscription is. To help maintain it over all these years. And then next to it, we have in memory of Isabella, consort of Charles T. Cutler, who was born April the 5th, 1813, and died September the 6th, 1838. And we have the motif of the willow and urn. And if we look really close, we can see a little heart. And that carries through on both sides. Now, should have brought a mirror with us, but it's kind of hard to bring this stuff in. We have another one in memory of, looks like Lucy, can't make it out. We'll have to go back and take some photos. And it's been propped up here. But we have a mixture of footstones and what is it?
Lucy, infant daughter.
Infant daughter of, does it say who?
Charles.
Charles Cutler.
Yeah. Charles and Isabella Cutler.
So does it say when she died? Because she was
Departed.
25 years old.
It looks like it says 1838.
So if she died in 1838, possibly due to childbirth.
Yeah.
And here we have, Amanda, if you'd get this one, we have another. This is the top of a headstone that's been broken right here. So really similar style. Looks like maybe a little bit later. And then we have, and that may be face down.
Yeah.
I'd say that's face down. So the inscription would be on the other side. Now, here's one that documented over the years. So this tree's huge. And you can see its broken limbs over the years, and it's dying. But due to its proximity to the tree's just embraced it, and the growing action has compressed the stone and just broken it. Eventually, this tree will just completely consume this headstone.
84 years.
Yeah. So, died October 18th, aged 84 years. Don't know how many months. 17 days. So, I know that a couple years ago when we photographed it, what that growth you see on the right-hand side wasn't there, and the name was legible. So we'll have to go back and see what records we can find for here. I was looking at some aerial photography from the Ohio Department of Transportation for 1946. And this area was at one time maintained. So, you know, in 80 years, a lot of these smaller trees that came in, the fence line We did cross a twisted wire fence on the way in that probably marked just a private property boundary. But just in that short amount of time, this cemetery has almost been forgotten. And it's one I really like to take people to because it is so old and has such a diverse style of early markers. But we are at Feurt Cemetery in Clay Township, Scioto County, Ohio. Thank you all for coming out with us.